Welcome to the Floor Academy podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Hedin, former installation contractor and boutique store owner. Joining me this week is Jason Potts, where we will be talking about how AI is the play. There's no denying it. You can't stop it. It's coming. It's not going to take your job right now, but it is going to start taking jobs. It's making running a business easier. And to be honest, the world of the Jetsons, which I know many of you know and grew up on, is coming true. We're all going to have a Rosie running around our house doing tasks for us. And then you're going to be able to, instead of telling Alexa to make a note that you want, add cucumbers to the grocery list, you're going to be able to tell her to go do a simple task for you, or not Alexa, but maybe some other device. And it's going to complete it for you, right? Hey, I have these numbers from this document over here. I need you to look at them and write up an estimate for me. And kablam, you get that estimate written up so you can send the quote over to the client, which it can probably manage all of that too and do all the communication. It's changing at a rapid pace. And it is crazy to see from, where we were 40, 50 years ago in life and society to where we're going tomorrow. It's rapidly evolving. So Floor Academy is here every week for you so that you don't have to go and learn the hard way through the School of Hard Knocks. We are interviewing people every week and getting insights into how they manage their business more effectively, more profitably, and free up their time to do the things they actually love doing so that you can repeat the process and do the same thing yourself. We got a quick word before we have Jason introduce himself from tiletools.com. Attention flooring professionals, elevate your craftsmanship with the finest tools and supplies from tiletools.com. From spacers to saws, we have everything you need for flawless tile installations. Plus, we offer top-notch customer service and fast shipping. As a special offer for Floor Academy listeners, you can use the code FA10 at checkout to receive 10% off your order. Don't settle for less. Visit tiletools.com today and experience the difference in quality and service the professionals trust. Good guys over there. They're not lying about fast shipping. I generally always get my orders sooner than when they say. Unless you're ordering like super late, I don't think I've ever not seen an order go out same day. So they're on it. And of course, you can pay for expedited shipping. If you truly need something that quickly and you need it next day, you can definitely pay for the expedited shipping. All right, that is enough for me. Jason, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Excited to have this conversation, but why don't you start by telling us who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Well, thanks, Kyle. I've been wanting to kind of get on podcast with you for, well, I don't know, 3-4 years now, I feel like. So I've kind of seen everything and all the videos in the past, and you've definitely had some interesting conversations. So hopefully I'll be one of those mile markers for you. So this is the beginning of my new entrepreneurship, and how I began was actually as a floor installer. So I came back from a Syria 2016, and I ran into lumber liquidators after a combat deployment overseas. And I was in Iraq and Syria. I came back, and I wanted to do something different, right? I was a trade pro. I used to frame houses. I was GC. RIC stood for Reliable Iowa Construction. A lot of people don't know that. Some people call it RIC, and they say RIC gave me a great deal. I was like, well, there's no RIC, so it's RIC. So I worked for lumber liquidators.
I'm sorry.
I had RIC as the name. It was Reliable Iowa Construction Flooring Installers, right? So it was
Okay.
RIC Flooring Installers. And then after Tom Sullivan got, essentially bought out of his own shares one day, he got kicked out of his own company. So I knew that my time was limited with the 20 install crews I built in a matter of a year and a half. Got to meet a lot of good guys. It turned out I was pretty good at, networking and delegating and figuring out ways to grow quickly and pay people good for what they do. And that seemed to be the key. But when Tom Sullivan got paid to leave, essentially, um, I knew my income was going to be pretty tight in the next 3 months. And for all the lumber liquidator installers out there, then I'm sure they're very grateful that Tom Sullivan's back because things will change back into their favor. He kept business and installs completely separate. Um, so they would fight against each other if you had claims. So it was a great time, but
Mm.
that all went away and I created my first store.
Okay.
That was RIC Flooring, not Rick. And I built an elegant showroom. I built my own showroom how I thought it would present itself to the public to gain their interest in my showroom versus, the mammoth ones in the area that have a 20,000 square foot showroom. I built mine, I think it was 900 square feet, custom inserts, three
Hmm.
by 2 foot samples. These were it was like walking into an Apple store, but it was for flooring.
Okay.
So it was very clean, slick. Pricing was there, and I did very, very well. Did 900,000 my first year. My second year, I actually was dealing with my building being torn down. At the same time, I was doing sales. Can't really talk about
Don't
those
make
terms
don't make
anymore.
it easy or anything.
Yeah, right. I mean, just second year and COVID is when I opened as well, so that was great. So don't really need to elaborate on those
I you know
possibilities.
I think this construction is probably one of the only industries that boomed, right? Like everyone is,
Yep.
oh, COVID was horrible. Dude, there was so much money printing and nobody could spend it. They didn't have anything to do but improve their house.
Right. But at the same time, COVID was happening. We had a derecho. So that was a land hurricane, right? That was a land hurricane in
Mm.
Iowa.
Okay.
But COVID was happening, so it was irrelevant of that, a historic hurricane just hit Iowa, corn. We have houses made of vinyl and sticks, not, Florida. We had 150-mile-an-hour winds
Oof.
for like an hour. So it destroyed the entire city. I had no showroom. It was being demolished, and I was like, this is insane. But I still, so we made things better. SBA helped me out, paid that loan off, and then I went to another one. I built another showroom, and I succeeded to at the end of that year, which is the second year after COVID and after derecho, all that stuff. Don't really need to elaborate on it, but my second year I did 2.3 million in sales. Even after all that, doesn't really matter because the thing that I noticed with retail is if you start and you're the little guy, you can only go up. There's no down.
Hmm.
You're at $0. So it's up to you to what you want to do as an expense or what you want to do with your money, right? And most of the time I invested in my company over myself. So I was the lowest paid employee for a very long time. So I think I was investing in what actually worked and what actually drove.
Hmm.
And then my third year, I did almost $4 million in sales. And I walked in and my digital assets were shut off. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing today, because if your digital assets are shut off, you can't do anything. You lose your marketing, you lose your CRM, your lead portal, everything, right?
Hmm.
And that's why I'm here today. So that was the short version. There was a lot of stuff happened in
Yeah.
3 years. I get it, but that's the
Well,
shortest I can
I,
do.
no, I look, awesome story. Glad you overcame. I think the key to everything you said there that a lot of people aren't doing, and I didn't do it, is you said I invested everything back into the company instead of myself. I went the opposite route. I invested everything into myself to get myself debt free,
Right. Yep.
and then there wasn't anything left to grow. And so I was trying to control it, and instead of getting out of my comfort zone and pushing myself to have to learn how to manage more and force myself to get off my knees, I took all the money and set myself up in a better position. But now there isn't anything to grow anymore because I was like,
I mean,
I've gone and
everybody
done
does
other
it.
ventures, but it was, if I were to go and do it again, I would make sure that I was putting way more money into the company and less into myself. I just had different
Yeah.
goals at the time, but you can see it was like 2.5x the first year and then like a 1.5 the next or something. That's crazy
Yep.
growth.
Yeah. I mean, I was having measures like crazy. I mean, I was doing 30, 40 measures in a population of 280,000 people a
Wow.
week. So, I mean, this is me going inside of homes, measuring it out, and having folders just stacked. Like I couldn't keep up. I could not even,
Hmm.
there's no CRM. There was nothing out there to keep the same pace that I was needing to go at. And as a brand new retailer, I did great with taxes. I mean, the smartest thing I ever did was hire a bookkeeper and pay my taxes
Thank
monthly.
you.
I mean,
Not first
I'm
first
sure
hire
every
any
trade
business
person
should
out
make.
here is like, dang, I wish I did that 9 years ago.
First hire
So,
any business should make, in my opinion, is a bookkeeper. You don't even, I don't know. Like, I understand numbers and I don't even want to deal with it.
yeah,
It's not worth your
no.
time.
It's crazy to be able to go into a brand new niche. I've never sold flooring in my life. I was just installs. I've never been a retail, never paid sales tax. There was a lot to learn and a lot of expense and a lot of income coming in. And you got to kind of really, think about the things after that, and what are your steps to do that? And none of that was going through my head. I didn't even know
Hmm.
what an expense chart was. I didn't know what a cash flow chart looked like. I didn't know what the profit and loss form or
Hmm.
your balance sheet.
Yeah.
That's the most complicated sheet on earth is a balance sheet. So it just, zero assets and liability. I mean, it's just bookkeepers are great. All right. So that's my number one thing is bookkeeper. I got one out of the Philippines. She does great. So
Awesome.
$50 a month.
Okay. So, I mean, the why can't I think of the line here? It's so cliche. The reason for the season is that now you're doing Ballin knows best. So if
Yep.
anybody hasn't heard of that, Jason and Ken Ballin have teamed up. They've created some AI stuff, which is really cool. But it's even before that started, all of that was born out of your digital assets being turned off, and you had to pivot
Correct. Yep.
hard at RIC Flooring to even keep it going and manage everything and get the advertising back up, get the CRM in place, and just you know
Yep.
everything back end on your business disappeared.
Right. And that's what
So
I said. That's when I started coming up with, your digital assets is it's in the name. It's your digital ass. You lose it, you're gone. So it's important to understand them and control them and make sure you own them
okay.
because you definitely don't want something like that to happen. So
So
call it the kill switch.
what has led to, you know, instead of hiring people, what led you to AI?
I didn't trust anyone. Not a thing. Nope.
No
Lost
business
that.
owner has ever said it better.
I lost all trust. I won awards. I was retailer of the year. FloorCon, a lot of people remember that. I was the retailer of the year. I was actually retailer of the year the second. I did the most sales out of 60, 70 people. Second year I didn't go, but I was, on the top of the list. That's for sure. But it's the fact that you um, have a lot of digital assets that you're unaware that actually control your business. Like brick and mortar is great, all right, but it's not going to be a thing in 10 years. It won't. It's these virtual glasses are coming out. Augmented reality is a thing. They're gonna get it eventually. And one day maybe your showroom's just empty and you're just looking with glasses and you see everything like it's there, right? Or you just put glasses on that get shipped to your house and you're in a showroom just by putting glasses on. So it's very real. It's coming very quickly, which is why I love AI. It intrigues me more than anything in life. But I made a promise to myself that I'll never leave the flooring industry and I'm going to improve it. That's why I want to be known as the AI king, the Elon Musk of the flooring industry. And I am here to really put my footprint into this industry, is what I keep telling people. I told Jerry that too. And, you know, he, he was right. I am a sponge. I like to learn and I like to
Hmm.
win, and winning is my favorite thing. If you don't like to win, then I like to beat you, unfortunately. So I like winning. Everybody likes winning, and I
Hmm.
want to teach others how I did it and how to win with AI. Without me even doing anything, I teach them, I mentor them. AI can do anything and everything that is being done for your business right now.
Okay.
And that's why I am creating this and using AI because AI just landed a space shuttle called the SpaceX. It's if it can land a space shuttle
Hmm.
that's like 1,000,000 degrees into this little grabber claw thing. I think it can run some Google ads and I think it can build you a website. All right. You don't need to pay people 2 grand a month to do this. It's going to be irrelevant. Marketing companies will not exist in the future. Um, I don't think website companies are going to exist in the future. What's going to exist is AI companies that are going to have you pay monthly for this software. And it's going to be
Hmm.
relatively cheap because AI is doing it. Unless you got someone like me that does it for 297 a month and gives you anything and everything you want. And that's what I'm doing. I'm getting rid of the risk and I'm teaching people how to control it. When I tell you I'm teaching people how to control it, I got 10 people, 10 freelancers overseas that are probably already doing everything for you through
Hmm.
the company paying in America. This is why you don't ever talk to your SEO agent or your SEO guy, right? You get a, let me talk to the team and I'll get back to you on that kind of thing. That's
Hmm.
because they're overseas and they're sleeping. There's a 9 hour, 11-hour difference.
Yeah.
So I'm connecting you directly with them. You can join a Zoom meeting at any point, and I'm just trying to get rid of that third party crap, and I'm done with it. Don't trust it. You're right. Maybe I said it right, but yeah, I don't trust anybody in it. No,
Well,
nope.
no, I think that's the problem with business owners is that we don't want to trust anybody, but the only way to do it is to trust people, right? I would think that the team you've put
Yeah.
in place, you trust them at this point, and you can delegate to them, and you have account, you're able to keep them accountable. But that's
Yeah. We even teach you
that's
how
the
to
hurdle.
kick us out of the software. We teach you how to kick us literally out of your domain. I mean, you can have it, take
Hmm.
it. But what we're doing and how we're teaching you, we haven't had a single person leave yet. It's 42 accounts now.
Okay, so it started obviously. Okay, so you had to fix everything. I remember one of the first big things I think you were taking on was just getting blogs written, and that's something that not a lot of people I think focus on is getting digital content out that will not only help rank their website but do better on social media, get people to interact with it. So,
Right.
what were you kind of working on to be able to create these assets so that every week or every day or whatever it is you're doing at this point, that new content that's unique and compelling comes out?
Well, a lot of people are write blogs with AI, right? And you're going to get this weird structured, monotone, or over advanced writing. And you're going to have these weird external links, and all this stuff is going to be written, and you're going to paste it, and you're not going to rank. All right. So, what I did with blogging, it took me almost a year and a half to get it. And this guy actually works out of Germany that I partnered with and actually helped him create it even better because I told him it kind of sucked. And he agreed with me for what I wanted it to do, and how it backlinks and how it tracks. So just imagine you join my platform, you don't have a single blog written. Nobody out there writes about your company. They're not interested. You're just a little fish. Well, what if I told you I have an AI tool that sees that you onboarded with our system? It then now geolocates you in your area. It talks about your city, it talks about your store, it talks about your services, it talks about anything and everything that your store is relevant to, because we also help you build your website. And so it knows anything and everything about you. Plus, we also teach you how to train your AI, how to make it act like you. Very easy. It takes us 5 minutes to teach you how to start training it to
Hmm.
simulate you. It's called the hybrid AI with BKB, and it basically writes like you now. So we did all of that. Each person has their hybrid AI that acts, talks, speaks like them because it understands the conversations you're having with your clients, with your team, or even with us. And it starts to understand how to write if it was you, but also do it correctly. And it takes your own images from your website, it actually references them as a backlink back to you. So, I mean, it's a pretty good system and it works very well and it's fast. And so far, we're at 200,000 blocks.
Jesus. So I okay, so you're taking it, I can input into it different things I've written, emails I've done, how I'm communicating on
Not
my
input it,
website.
it already does it automatically.
Okay.
So
So
it's take all of your social platforms, take your
mhm.
LinkedIn, take your X, take YouTube, take everything, take your
Okay.
podcast,
Yeah.
and I link it to this AI. It's scraping everything and anything you
Got
want
it.
it to with URLs and is learning from it. And if
Okay.
it answers the question for someone that asks a question and you're not there and the AI responds, if you don't like the question, you push thumbs down. you change the answer, and anytime in the future, anything that's relevant to the question or relevant to the answer is going to give a simulated answer of somewhat what you were trying to say.
Okay. So I'm giving it permission to view all of my digital
Correct.
content
Yeah,
that's
whatever you
created.
want it
Okay,
to.
that's fine. All right. Got it. So it's taking all of that in, and it sees how I interact, and then it can put out content, and then it's grabbing pictures that I put up, and it's able to make those relatable to the content it's writing. And so if there's a floor prep picture, it can add that in, and then that gets a link back to the website or whatever it is when you click on it, so that everything is going back to you. And this is all happening in the background. Like the minute you turn it on, it just starts happening. It's not anything that I have to worry about. So if I walk away for a week, blogs are still being made.
Yep, that's right. And you can use your phone just to shut it off or tell it what channels not to scrape anymore. It's very easy to control.
Okay.
Because I like simplicity. That's key to me.
Okay. And then along with that, so now I'm getting it to create content to advertise, but at the same time, I now have this website that has a chat feature so people can reach out to me and start asking questions about how to book an appointment or what's this, that, or the other thing about floor prep. And it's handling the questions there so that I can, if I'm stuck on the floor, I can be on the floor, and in the background, all of this is happening. So my potential clients are being serviced while I'm actually servicing somebody that's paying me.
Right. With a hybrid you. It's answering the best way it can to mimic you. And also, if they call you and you miss the call, it'll actually text them on their phone like it's you, saying you're busy or whatever you want it to say. You train it in the end.
Okay. So, and then how long does this, I mean, it's already coming with a knowledge base because you set it at a certain point, and then other people, like, it's not one unique it's one unique instance that's now been split off into multiples, but it all goes back and it has like one central database it pulls from, I'm assuming. Like it doesn't keep. Okay. So it learns how to communicate as me, but it pulls from your 3740, I forget what you said, right? 3740, 42. Somewhere around there, 42 clients that are inputting into it constantly. So even if I'm a hardwood guy, if for some reason there's a tile question, if it has the info from one of the tile guys, it's able to pull that out and then answer it like I would.
The BKB is it's the mama. All right. The mama machine is BKB. The Ballin knows best. So that one controls all the data, but everybody's data is separate because everybody's AI needs to act differently with their own hybrid. So I don't want somebody who's trained somebody else's AI and your AI to cross communicate, because the last thing you want to do is tell someone you're not available right now and your response with, hey, can you give me a quick moment? Like there's different tones, everybody has their own personality, and we literally give your personality to your AI. Sometimes if you want, we can replicate you and actually have it do a video text of you actually talking to the client. We just released that, but we want it to be a hybrid of you. It's still AI. We still let people know it's AI, but we want it to be the best AI of yourself to help close a job the way you think it should. And that's
okay. But if it needs info that comes from another sector, it can get that info.
Yeah.
And then it just translates it into me.
Yep. So we scraped MWFA, the policies and stuff like that, and we backlink back to them. If you don't have the answer for it, it'll give the industry standard back to the rep in the area. Like if it's an installer asking a question, but it'll still tie you to it. They'll still have to give the email and phone, but the last thing you want to do is give false information out. So we actually use the industry standard URLs or policies.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it sounds like a dream that I can focus on the task I actually need to do and spend less time, getting distracted. Because I know what it's like, and I know everybody out there right now knows what it's like. If you're listening while you're working, I know your phone's going to ring. And if you have a Bluetooth headset in, You're going to answer it without even looking at the phone because that takes an extra second. So it's probably a scam or a spam call, you know, somebody trying to sell you some kind of weird insurance or somebody trying to get you to buy a warranty that doesn't really exist, whatever it's going to be, right? We're contacting you about your car's extended warranty. And so I have less of that bothering me, that I can focus on the install. And then I have, if it is a legit call, they can get their questions answered because it's going to text them when I don't answer. And then they can start prompting it with whatever they want and it will start giving answers. I'm assuming it knows my calendar and can sit there and suggest like, hey, I can come out at this time or that time. And
it could either send a link or it can actually schedule with them asking for the day and times they're available. And it actually reads the calendar and communicates to them like a human.
Okay. So, I mean, you're just saving yourself tons and tons of time on the front end and how you communicate, how you advertise your business, that you can actually, if you are the one man band or you only got yourself and maybe another crew, like your time is so valuable in the field that this is a great tool. And it's not something to be afraid of. I think that's one of the craziest things I've seen within the flooring industry is that, I mean, I've said it before, that I look at it and I feel like it's still stuck in the 1970s, that, you know, in order to get an account with some of these big companies, you got to be in the good old boys club and you got to go make the other stores in your area happy to get the rep to open you up an account, right? Otherwise it's, don't open them because I don't want them stealing my business. Dude, I live in a city of 4.5 million people. I ain't stealing any business from you. There's enough people here that like, I'm stealing it from somebody, but I'm not like, I'm there's plenty of work in a city of 4.5 million.
There is that old man hustle group. They're still together. They went to high school together. You know, all these guys, you know, that's going to break up here in the next, you know, the best friend's son's going to take the company over, and the best friend's not going to like the son the way he responds to the rep one day. And that's when it's all going to start breaking apart, which I would assume in the next 3 years, it's got to start happening, right?
Within the next decade, I think, no offense to I'll be rude. The old dinosaurs out there, they're hanging on, right? It's the latter years of their career, and they're all
right. We got museums.
They're all in. Well, they're all in upper management, right? So they have all the control, and so until those people get replaced and the policies and whatnot can change, I don't see a lot changing. But even in the way that stuff is advertised and put out and communicated, it's not up to how other industries are interacting with their markets. And so I feel it's all very dated, very slowed down, and there's not a lot of new stuff. And so that it's great to see companies like yours coming out and saying, you know what, I embrace technology, I embrace change. I want to implement all of this so that we can do things differently instead of, well, that's the way it's always been done. Cool. You know what? That's also what killed tons and tons of companies. Okay. Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix twice. They laughed them out of the offices.
There's a Redbox that heard them first too, wasn't it?
No, it was, I only know that they talked to Netflix twice. In fact, the guys, I was studying it for a talk I was going to give. They had like absolutely no money left at Netflix, and they had to buy the private jet because they let them know so late in the day that they would see them in Texas. They had to get a private jet. It was like their last 50 grand, and they hopped on and they went out. Then they made it on time for the morning meeting, and they like laughed him out of the office. They were like, it's never going to work. Like they called him in to laugh at him, which is a bullshit move. Yeah. Like bullshit. Like they spent like tons of money on this private jet. And talking about. Yeah. And so, you know, you can look at that. You can look at Kodak not embracing digital camera that their own employee invented. And then digital killed film, and where's Kodak now? So you can look at some of these companies, and it's just hindsight's 2020, obviously. But when you stagnate, you die. You can look at, you know, for a more modern day one. I don't think anyone sees what's coming with Tesla. Like if you don't think that the auto industry is going to change over the next decade, you're missing it. Because internal combustion engine vehicles are going to, they have to go the way of the dinosaur. These
Yep.
companies can't even keep up with how they're creating vehicles, and they can't compete at the price target of Tesla. So it's like fascinating to watch. And so they're going to get rid of the $7,500 tax credit that applies to hybrids and electric vehicles. But all it does is put Tesla in a better position because their vehicles are cheaper anyways. And so
Yep.
they'll have to drop the Fords and the Chevys and the GMs. They have to drop making hybrids because they can't do it cheap enough. They do it at a loss. And now no
I
one's
mean,
going to want to
Chrysler
buy it
even
because
stopped
you don't save
production already.
7,500. So
So, I mean,
it's
yeah,
it's very fascinating to watch. And so, I mean, and you can go back through time, right? Let's look at something as simple as the cotton gin. Put tons of people out of work, but it was new and exciting, and it revolutionized an industry. So AI is
right.
coming. I don't think it's going to steal your installation job anytime soon. Maybe one day, but not right now. But in the meantime, it's coming for all the jobs nobody expected. We always thought it to do manual labor stuff. It's coming for the creative stuff, which blows my
It is.
mind. I
It's the
never in a
fastest way to get
million,
it.
yeah, I never in a million years would have thought that like my job as a camera operator or, you know, some kind of design creative as a photographer or anything like that would have been stolen by AI first. And it's the exact
Right.
opposite
I
of
mean,
what we
it's
all
up to
thought.
you as a company owner to, you know, you either accept it and invest in it, or you, which really the investment is actually saving you instead
Hmm.
of paying old money. But this is in the next year. I mean, you got surgeons using AI now. I mean, you got AI figuring cancer out. Like it can look
Hmm.
at DNA records faster than anyone. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, I think I'm going to take it all the way to the end zone in the flooring industry with AI until I kind of run out of ideas, which is never a thing. I promise you that. I've had a lot of ideas, some of them not the greatest. Trying to make a turbo fan with jet 3D printed vacuum.
Okay.
That was a little dangerous. I got that. Blew up on me. There's a heating element issue there. You know, it gets so hot, it just melts and then it doesn't shut off, and it was a
Okay.
problem. But anyway,
Well,
uh,
I think this is the tip of the iceberg, right? This is the ground floor. And if you hop in now, you're going to have a huge lead on everybody else. And that's what's going to matter 5, 10 years down the road, because the technology is going to change so quickly. Are people going to be able to get in and get access to what you have? Yes, but it's probably going to cost them more. But what kind of market share can you grow in your company over the next 5 or 10 years while all of this is happening? And especially when you look at the bigger picture and you look at where the economy is at right now, there's lots of guys and gals that are hurting. They're not doing as well. Money
right.
is a little bit tighter for many folks. It's on a downturn for the most part. This is when you go and gain market share. You don't gain market share in an up economy. That's when everybody, look back 3 years ago. If you had a phone number and you said that you were doing flooring, you were getting a phone call and you were staying busy.
Yep.
And now it's totally different. And so this is when those guys can't hack it anymore. And this is when you gain market share, and then you work hard to maintain it through an upswing, and then you wait for that downswing. You stack all your money during the upturn, and then you spend it on the downswing, and you gain more market share. So
Well, I mean, look
this is game
for
changing.
an example. I talked to Matt Garcia. He was my very first website I've ever built. All right. I said,
Mm,
"Hey, Matt, I got an idea. Let me
mm-hmm.
build you a website." And he's like, okay. To this day, I still give him for free because he's my beta. I will test on him before anybody else, and he accepts that.
Okay.
There's problems, trust me. But I told him, I was like, I bet I can get you close to $2 million in revenue. And I think he was around 800 just with AI, just with SEO. Just
Mm-hmm.
if he sells the jobs, he can get there. Because I was the one doing 30 measures in my town. I was like, there's no way it's just my town that does this. It was something I
Yeah.
was doing.
Yeah.
And so I did everything I could and even way more. And I think I blew it out of the water. I mean, he is so busy, he doesn't even let me advertise for him. he says he can't have time to even do this. I'm like, we got to do this. He's like, I can't do that right now. We're busy. I'm like, well, this sucks.
Yeah,
I
it's
approved it. So I need more
Matt.
beta.
Matt has done a lot of work to manage everything. Like there was things were picking up just because of how he was working out his employee
Oh yeah.
program. But then yes, teaming up with you, I know that he was stuck at like 750 for like 2 years. He hit 750, and then the next year he was stuck there. And so between like manipulating how the employee retention program and pay program worked, the incentive pay, there we go. Now I know what I'm saying. Between
Yep.
that and then teaming up with you and getting advertising and marketing stuff going in the background, they are quickly growing and then
I
finding
mean,
the
you can look up
talent to.
water damage and it pops up. I
Interesting.
mean, I used AI to get him to
Hmm.
rank number one.
Which is great. I mean,
So
they deserve it. They do great work and they have a great program, and it'll be awesome to
yeah, I
watch
mean,
them
if you
grow.
don't
So,
make the sales and you don't do good work, you're not going to rank number one. You
hmm,
better have five-star reviews, a good response rate, and good company culture and a nice store, right? But he has those things, and maybe I got lucky by having him as my first beta client. But no, it was definitely a risk he took for me to do it. I'm
hmm,
glad it worked, and to this day, he kind of tells people that I did a thing and it worked and
yeah,
does it. So
good advocate. I got to interrupt us real quick here.
yep.
Utsen has your floor installation needs covered with our extensive range of high quality products. Whether it's our moisture mitigation system for concrete slabs, subfloor prep products, tile and stone installation systems, or our tooling, we have the solutions for your project. We also provide expert guidance to help you choose the right solution as well as technical support for your job site. Learn more by visiting our website, through social media, our app, or contacting your local rep. If you don't know who your local rep is, they make it so easy. Download their app. You can search right on there. Gives you the phone number. You can call them directly. Some areas have more than one, so you get multiple options if you're really in a hurry. Plus, you get the calculator tools. Plus, you can get the TDS on any product you want so that you can get the info you need so you can really dork out and then take that sheet and bring it to your client and say, this is why I can't do it. They say it has to be done like this. Otherwise, there's no warranty, and I'm not taking that risk. So it'll save your butt in a pinch very quickly. Love those guys over there. Make sure you check them out, and they'll take great care of you. I've not had a bad experience with Utsen once. All right, Jason, where do we want to go with this? We've got it advertising, we've got it booking appointments. What else is AI doing for us as you continue to build out what you're working on? But and I know a lot of this kind of started as what services you needed. So
Yep.
what other parts of our business is this working on us for?
So I'll just go ahead and kind of release a little spiel about the CRM that I created 2 days ago. 3 days ago now, actually. We'll be releasing it next week. So it's part of the 297 plan. My 297 is not budging. I think it should be affordable because my AI does everything. So I don't really have to do much. Hence why I think AI is going to be a huge part. But the CRM, our CRMs are outdated, as you said. We're stuck in the 1900s, maybe mid 1900s on some software.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, some of the software was out there was built by 12 programmers together, and each one had their own coding style, which is why some buttons just don't work. And easily navigatable by AI to be able to access it if needed to. It could probably do it in the future. So hacking is also going to be an issue in the future that's guaranteed. So you have to have different updated AI databases, things to protect you, like AI agents that actually protect you from data breaches, right? It finds things that are going wrong or something's trying to enter. Um, so we built a new version of the CRM,
Okay.
my version. Um, I like simplicity. I like things to be easy. Once again, if you get the CRM, yes, it has a face, it has a UI. You can still do everything manually. The difference is that I haven't even told you yet, Kyle, is nobody's CRM is going to be the same. You can tell the AI, or you can tell us, what you want different on it, what you want it to have the ability to have on there instead. And we can do it within minutes.
Hmm.
Uh, so we can actually customize the CRM to have what buttons you want or what features you want added because we can build apps within minutes. So the possibilities of what we're doing is huge. But my favorite part about this one is since I have so much data and so much experience with AI prompting ever since even before GPT was really big, I was actually working with something that was called Jasper, right? And then before then, I was working on some stuff on GitHub with, it was more workflows. I was
Okay.
getting into before it actually started. And I figured out the way to actually voice activate the CRM. So instead of you having to go client, add the info, how about my AI knows where you're physically standing with a geolocation, which is called AI mapping, right? It's an API from Google Cloud. It knows what you're saying. If you want to record a conversation in front of you, it will. You can also just push the button, say add client. You tell the basic information about the client, it records it, and it actually inputs the client into the CRM with the notes. And it doesn't stop there. You can literally click analyze, and it's going to scrape your client's information. It's going to look on Google. It's going to see how many bad reviews they might have left in the local area if this is a good client. It's going to look at any public record possible about that client. And it's also going to evaluate everything that is a potential with them, how it recommends you should go about it. Did they, everything's almost public record at this point. So just
Hmm.
imagine it and analyzing that. It takes about a minute to do it because it's a lot.
Yeah.
We're probably going to shorten it. And it gives you such an edge of what they just bought. They just bought a sofa, right? Like maybe you want to know that. Maybe you want to know that they just closed on a deed, which is public record, right?
Okay.
So there's things that I can now tell you about a client that you never even thought about before you went to do a measure because it can do it within a minute.
Hmm.
And even after that, that's still not it. You can question it. It'll talk to you. It'll tell you if you wanted to elaborate on this specific item and tell you. It'll give you the Google link to the bad review they gave of a restaurant a week ago if you wanted to. And it'll also, you can click a button or tell it to create an estimate based on what you said about the estimate that you got to go do. Water damage leak, it's going to say, well, you could either do a vinyl floor or we can replace the floor and put the same one back, and it's going to build that template out, already have the estimate sitting there waiting for you to optimize it,
Okay.
whether manually or with your voice. Doesn't, it's the same.
I mean, I
That
like
was a lot. Sorry.
no, 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 no. Okay, so I gotta go back, right? Let's start at the beginning. So I can know who I'm going to go see first. So it can build all of this out once it does an intake and schedules the consult.
Yeah,
And so
either
I
way,
can,
it has its name.
okay, so then I could go in and I could build rapport faster because I may know a ton about this person before I even walk in their home. I could know their kids. I could know who
Right.
their husband is, what their job is, some
If
background
it's
stuff
public
on them.
record, yeah.
If they have any hobbies that they may have put out there, I could know all of that going in, so I can build rapport faster, which is a game changer to winning the client.
Right.
Okay. Then I can know lots of bad things, which I think is super scary. But I mean, anything people put out there, that's on them, right? We've
Right.
accepted as a society that we continue to lose more and more privacy, which is absolutely nuts to me. That coming from the guy that puts himself out on the internet every week, right? Like I say that we should have
Right. I mean,
privacy.
I've already built you a website too, by the way, while we've been talking. It's actually been done for a while.
Oh my God. I probably need a new
So
one. There's tons of broken stuff on it. I don't even want to talk
looks
about it.
great.
I bet it does. So we've got I can go in, then I can know the bad things. So if they're leaving bad reviews, I can tell if they're the crazy person or not. Maybe I need to find a way to back out elegantly from the situation, or I can put
Yep.
the PETA tax on there and make it worth my while. This is fascinating, right? You're saying you can search public records so you can see if they just acquired the house or not.
Right.
That's
And the way
that's
I did that is I tied Gemini and GPT together because Gemini is actually, it's Microsoft, right? Microsoft is up to date to the day up to, I think, 5 minute history, right? So
Okay.
within 5 minutes, it updates itself every so often. So right now in the US, there's a race to how many people can put up servers right now. It's basically GPT, Google, Meta.
Yep.
Like there's massive warehouses just being loaded with computer drives right now, being built as we're talking, trying to get the fastest ones up because that's what this world's going to be is it's going to be a big hard drive. I mean, we've all seen, iRobot,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm not going to say that I'm going to be the guy that gets, annihilated by the robot, but maybe my son takes it over and it turns on him. I don't know. But I think it's a great opportunity for businesses to take a lead. And what's better than a CRM that you don't have to click into and you just talk to it and it does exactly what you
Mm-hmm.
want.
Well, I think that's a
Take a
great,
picture of a check and it deposits it in your inventory.
yeah.
Whereas, I mean,
Well, coming from the guy that, was saying I was doing 30, 40 measures a week, dude, that's a lot. That's if you're working a 5 day week, which at that point you weren't, that's eight a day, which means you're working probably a 10 to 12 hour day just to do the measures and keep up
I have
with
two measure
driving and
guys.
everything. And then you got to come home and you got to put all that together. Well, if I've got 30 minutes to drive to the next measure, you're telling me I can be driving and inputting all of the data I just got, or it's already input in, and then I can start talking to it about, okay, hey, adjust this, tell it this, make sure you address that there's, these industry specifications need to be met here. And by the time I arrive at the next one, I could look it over real quick and hit send and get it off.
Right. And I also forgot to tell you, I'm the one that built Measure It app for iPhone. The LiDAR sensor, it scans your whole house within a matter of minutes.
Okay.
Well, I also implemented that into my CRM. So the data goes there, the
Mm-hmm.
measurements, it takes pictures as you're scanning. So it sees rooms, it uses vision. So it knows what a bed is, it knows what a fridge is, it knows a kitchen, it knows bedroom, and it knows what a staircase is, which is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And well, AI is smart enough to be able to put all that together, especially if you have a guy that's niched into the flooring industry that trains AIs for the flooring industries. I might actually have the smartest artificial intelligent bot in the flooring industry. So it seemed perfect for me to integrate it to the Measure It app.
No, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, how do it's all about efficiency. How do I make this as quick as possible to get all the information in one place, analyze it as quickly as possible, and get. Nobody wants to wait. Everybody hates waiting to get how much it's going to cost. I used to not be a big proponent of like closing in home because I didn't want to be the scummy salesman that was like super high pressure. And I've changed my tone on that. And I think the faster I can get somebody to that answer, the better. Because why do I want somebody else to? If I truly believe I'm the best fit and I'm going to service them better than anyone else and provide a better service, I have a duty to close it, and not in a high pressure scummy way, but just look, this is what it's going to cost you. We can start on the 19th. I need a $5,000 deposit check today. What would you like to do? Right? It's just asking. But if I can provide them with all of that info and you're making it easier for me because I can measure, get all the data input, and it's working up the estimate as I go, I don't even have to do the work. It's already done by the time I'm done measuring, and I can go and present, which nobody else is able to do that. No other
No,
company in town is going to be able to present at the end of walking around the house and looking at it, let alone if it's measuring it itself. The client can be taking me through and explaining everything. And by the time they're done explaining everything, I've already measured the house and have an answer for them.
right.
That's
And the way I did it back
okay.
then was I found the loophole with workflow
Mm-hmm.
to tie Measure Square into Rollmaster way back in the day. Those are the good times I call it, but that's when I basically figured out a way to get when I'm done with a measure, I took the same line items and I used a spreadsheet actually to import back into Rollmaster,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so my estimates would be done almost automatically. And I shared it with how I did it, but I was, I've always had these ambitions to make it better, to make it easier. And now that I have all the tools and I own the tools to be able to do it and I have the access to all the APIs,
Hmm.
I can literally take input from anybody that has a suggestion and I can do it within minutes. It's great. I mean, it's the best thing that could ever happen to this industry is having entrepreneurs come up with app designs or anything they want, and I can create it for them in minutes. And basically, I do it for free at this point because I want the industry to change. I want it to get away from these marketing and these
Hmm.
other issues we all see with, the groups together. You got all sorts of things being bought out. You got Facebook groups being bought out. You got companies being acquired. I mean, you got all sorts of things happening, right?
Yes.
So I want to get away from that. I want the entrepreneurship to come back. I want real businesses with real ideas. Like, it's the QR showroom, Kristen, she's great. I think she's got a great mind. And, there's one thing I give her props to is she's an entrepreneur and she had an idea
Hmm.
and she's using it. So
Yeah.
we need more of that. And that's what I'm pushing for is creativity. And it's not hard to come up with an idea, especially if you know a guy like me to help you make it a reality within minutes again. So,
Well, and that's the
uh,
thing. Like, there should be a ton of creativity in this field.
and there is.
Well, man, there is and there isn't. I think there's a lot of people that go and just slam stuff in,
Right. Yeah.
and the corporatization of everything in America has taken a lot of that creativity away, and hopefully this digital revolution brings it back instead of continues to take it away, because if creativity is a luxury, right?
Yep.
If we're going to look at it from this perspective, like, I don't have to slave away to find my meal 16 hours a day and then sleep and
Right.
then and rinse and repeat. I've got it to where I can go, and I've bought myself leisure time because of all the technological advances. So hopefully with more technological advances, we find a better way to represent our craft, whether it's tile, hardwood, carpet, whatever it is, and present that to clients and say, did you know I could do this for you? And we get back to being more creative. So I think there's a lot of really great creatives out there. And when you take them and you combine them with the digital side, you can start getting some really interesting solutions to what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I think flooring in general for homes here is, especially with, you take the big national builders, and they do it in other places, but here in Phoenix, I mean, they'll pre-plan entire communities. The school goes up, the shopping centers go up, the 2,400 home subdivision goes up, and people fill it, and it's off to the races. Like, the school's filled, and like, the homes are all done around the same time, and it's off to the races. But how do you do that quickly? Well, there's 6 home designs you can choose from, and there's no more custom builds. Your
Nope.
choices are very slim. There's companies out here saying that they won't even put LVP on stairs. They'll do LVP in your entire downstairs, entire upstairs, but you have to get carpet on the stairs because it's too hard to fit it in.
Yeah.
Which is
Yep.
like,
No,
it's
that makes
not that hard. Like, it's absolutely absurd what some of these things are, right? And it's all straight lay. Nothing can be, you can't be like, I want to switch out this chandelier to this one. Like, everything is so boring and replicatable. And so I think I would
our
love to
industry
see the
in the
creativity
flooring
come back.
industry from a retailer side of things is really boring. I mean, you got all the website developers were bought out. You have all the Facebook pages that or groups were, purchased or
Hmm.
acquired, right? Everything's bought. You can't have creativity with a bot market. You just can't. It's not allowed because
Hmm.
why would you want that? You don't want to open the doors back open to competitors to create new great ideas. No, they want them. So I'm going to be the guy to create those new doors, and then eventually, hopefully, um, these ideas will come to life. They can happen very quickly. It's like, Kyle, you got a great idea. Sure, let me build it for you. Let me
Hmm.
hand it over to you. I will literally build it for you and hand it over to you just to literally have this industry change because I'm just well, you know me. I'm a very kind of pissed off guy still. So I'm doing this to change
Hmm.
monopolized market. It's not good for any of us in business. You can't change anything on your website. You can't change your marketing. You can't talk to your marketing. You don't own anything. And if you're going through a monopolized market and you're depending on it, you're controlled. It doesn't help you with your competitors because your competitors pay the same company.
Hmm. Well, and it ruins the market as well. I don't know. Like, again, this is getting into bigger picture stuff, but let's look at some of these large companies. Okay, so if you look at, and we'll take the couple of tech companies, right? Apple and Microsoft hold billions of dollars in cash. Nvidia is holding billions of dollars in cash. They can't do anything with it. Look
Right.
what happened the last time Microsoft tried to like buy a company. Every time it turns into an anti-suit trust. You can't buy them. You can't buy them. You already control too much of the market. You can't have another company. You can't have something else in this space. And so when is that? At what point does the flooring industry reach that of, okay, these couple of companies are controlling everything, but they can't do anything anymore? It's
I think that's when the manufacturers start buying the corporates that control the digital. That's when it becomes that issue.
but it's even from a perspective of what what do the products look like? You know, how many, if the manufacturers would come to the guys at the bottom and talk to us, what would happen with the products and how they work? As opposed to,
Right.
yeah, I can't think of the last really, really exciting thing I saw released in the industry over the past 7 years that like, I was like, wow, that's game changing. I don't, it feels like every year you go to the shows, you look at the same stuff. Pieces have gotten bigger. We went from 7-inch wide planks.
Even
Well,
lights,
we
even
went from
lights.
5-inch wide planks to 7-inch wide planks to 9-inch wide planks, and we went from 12 by 24 tile to 48 by 96 tile. So everything
Right.
got bigger, but it didn't necessarily, like, the format of it, like the composition of it didn't change. There wasn't anything that came out that made sure there wasn't crazy edge curl on tiles and didn't need to use clip
What's
leveling
actually
systems
funny is
anymore.
that the tile industry actually is its own case because the tile industry is actually more creative than anyone because you got lights and niches and stuff now.
Yes. Well, and I think you can just it lends itself to be more creative. But even within that, like, you have to find the
Right.
right client that lets you go hog wild with design. And you know some of the mosaicists are doing amazing things,
Right.
but what percentage of the market do they have a share of? It's like slim to
Right.
none.
And so that's honestly it is the market's our retailer market is dead. It's stale. It's
Hmm.
just nothing is coming about it. There's no new things being done. In fact, FloorZap was just acquired. It's a great system. I love FloorZap. Mike's done a great job building it, but it's acquired. I've we've seen it. Whether it could go really great or it can go bad. You just
Hmm.
don't know. So it just makes you second guess, I guess. And I have nothing bad to say about FloorZap. I have nothing bad to say about them, but it's still an acquired thing that's happened, and we've seen it happen in this industry a lot of times. Um, and I obviously use FloorZap now, but I we all hope that it goes the right direction,
Hmm.
and Mike doesn't get thrown out the door one day like Tom Sullivan did, and I don't think he will. They know he's the best, programmer in the flooring industry as of to date right now for, CRMs, but it's more of the fact that it's still that's what happens. Corporate has opportunity or an investor,
Hmm.
and that's at least it's a different acquired investor. So that's the only great thing about it is that it's not the same corporate structures that are out there that are acquiring other companies. So this, at least if we can get the different companies acquiring companies in the industry, that'd be great. But if it's still the same one acquiring all the companies, that's not a good thing for anybody
Yes.
ever.
No, it needs to be mixed up with who's acquiring, but I also think it comes down to mom and pops need to stay successful, but they stay successful by emulating what the bigger companies are doing. You don't have to build something to go out and acquire everybody. You don't need to be an
Right.
America's
Yep.
floor source and be shooting for $1 billion in revenue. Now, what Jason is doing is awesome, and it works for him. but I got a feeling that I don't know, and I would have to go to a store. So I don't actually know the answer to this, but they're all probably run pretty much the same. And I don't know how much personality it can have compared to a small mom and pop shop. Me running a 255 square foot showroom inside of an office, inside of a larger office building, is a far more unique experience than walking into something that's the same in 3 or 4 states at this point, maybe 5 states, right? Like it's right. All you can walk into. I can walk into a Home Depot anywhere in the country and I know where the paint section is for the most part. They're all pretty much designed exactly the same. Everything's in the same row for the most part. I can right. Get around. I can make sure that I go to some major chain restaurant and my experience is the same, whether I'm here in Arizona or I'm in Wisconsin. But if I were to walk into RIC Flooring, I'm going to get a different experience than if I walk into a mom and pop in Wisconsin or New York or Florida. And I think that's what we need more of, is we need businesses that are running highly efficient, but have the ability to do the one-offs and really treat you as the individual you are. And I like where it seems like tying technology in, and especially with the AI, it allows us to bring back that freedom to cater to them at a higher level while still providing what seems like a very fluid and streamlined service.
Yeah, and what's better than to know who's coming to the showroom before they even come there, you know? So, I mean, it's a lot of this is, you know, it's about the AI, right? But it's honestly about bringing the creativity back as well. So that's why I'm doing it. That's truly, it's money isn't everything to me. That's why, you know, it's, yeah, I could charge $1,000 a month for my software and my programs that, you know, are overlapping people by decades, it seems like at this point. But it's about changing the industry for me, as a personal experience, and to help other tradesmen. I have a lot of trade pros that actually use it, not as many retailers, because it is that easy for a trade pro to use it, because it's all AI and it helps them sell, it schedules it. They're going to be able to talk to the CRM to do something instead of having to open a phone and do all this stuff and type stuff in. I mean, it's there. So like I said, they landed a space shuttle, you know, on a little bitty dock that a machine grabbed. So, I mean, it isn't rocket science, but, you know, it doesn't have to be.
No. Keep it simple, stupid. I mean, we don't work in a complicated industry by any means, I don't think. I think some of the, if you're in the like designers, if you're in the engineering side, if you're the one creating the like thin sets and glues and stuff, it's probably kind of complicated. But right. Installation, not generally that complicated. So let's keep it simple and efficient, and then let's go have fun with it. And I think that's what we need as an industry, is people need to know that they don't have to get, you know, even with carpet, right? Oh man, I just got to go lay this, you know, 100 yards in this house, and it's just a straight nylon. Well, I mean, we could, but can we make the foyer interesting somehow and cut out the middle and put a different piece in and kind of have it bordered and make it a unique feature that you step into and kind of says like, hey, here's this space. Like, let's get creative. Let's have fun. Let's sell something that really helps a space look different and accentuates the home, because that's what people are after. Like, I don't need ho-hum.
Right. They just want a personalized experience and feel like they're getting the attention they deserve with their money, their investment, and to actually have a relation to somebody before they give you $5,000.
Yes. All right, Jason, I love the conversation. Is there anything that we didn't hit on that you kind of want to hit on real quick?
I'm sure there is, but it's just, AI tech stack is the biggest thing. But yeah, we'll be releasing it next week for the voice CRM. So
okay,
it'll be pretty cool to be able to showcase.
If people want to reach out to you, where do they find you?
It's either ballinknowsbest.com or localleadconnector.com.
Okay, there you go. Reach out, find them, get them. Apparently you can just Google Jason Potts Flooring CRM and there's you know, AI spitting out responses according to a comment we have. I can't read it all, but You can find him, and it should be easy because he has little bots in the background doing his bidding for him at all times of the day, even while he's sleeping. So maybe we should be scared. Is this Skynet? Are you developing Skynet?
It's undetermined. We don't know. I
Okay.
mean, we don't know. We just prompt it. We don't know what it's doing on the back end, do we? I mean,
Okay.
so
But no,
yeah.
if you have questions, if you want to improve your business, if you want to get more involved with AI and have it help you, reach out to Jason. He'd be happy to, get you set up, do a intro call and have that conversation with you on how it can help your business. I want to thank everybody for listening. Jason, thank you for joining us and having the conversation. What can we do here? Check out flooracademypod.com. Make sure you visit the store, pick up some swag, get a shirt, it's cold out right now, get a hoodie. You can get that profit is not a dirty word hoodie. And, that's a mantra you need to live by. It's not a dirty word. It's okay to make money. That's why you started a business.
Right. That's right.
What else? You can go to patreon.com/Floor Academy. Even $5 a month helps us to continue to create this content. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment when you see the show posted, or if you find something super awesome about the show, post it up in a group and tell everybody why you enjoyed the episode so that they can go and get the same benefits that you got out of it. And we've got a quick word here from Tice. Listeners, it's nearing that time. Again, time to remind you that the International Surface event is returning to Las Vegas January 28th through the 30th of 2025. Mark your calendars now. Whether you're an installer, retailer, distributor, or serve within another capacity in our industry, Tice is a solid resource to expand your knowledge and networking base. You can also learn about the newest and industry-leading products coming to market. Stay up to date with the International Surfaces event page on Facebook or visit intlsurfaceevent.com. That's going to do it for us. We will catch you all next week with a new episode to help you improve your business.